Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Creative Works of Lancaster Telethon. I'm your host, Alex Bannon.
And I'm your host, Joanna Underhill.
Co-host.
What?
What?
Welcome to our first ever telethon, coming to you from the studios at Two Dudes Painting Company. Two dudes, one to paint and one to hold the ladder.
Now, due to some technical constraints, we're pre-recording tonight's entire event.
Those technical constraints being, no local TV stations would take our calls, and we don't know how live streaming works.
True. So, everything you're seeing is pre-recorded, which we're only just now realizing doesn't really work for a call-in telethon.
But speaking of calling in, let's check in with our wonderful phone bank operators who will be taking all your calls. How's it going over there, Lydia?
Fine.
Now, Lids, can you tell our viewers at home how they can call in and make a pledge?
No one's given me the number yet.
Well, thanks, Lydia. Now, moving on.
Hey, guys.
Yes?
How are the puppets going to answer the phones? I mean, like, I get that they're going to answer with their mouth, but how do they talk into the phone? Also, these puppets seem unpuppeted.
Well, I guess that's why we pay you the big bucks.
I don't even think my phone is plugged in.
Thanks, Lydia. We'll be sure to check in with you throughout the evening.
Okay.
Now, moving on. No telethon is complete without a great big board with some great big numbers on it.
And we've got some of the biggest numbers in town.
What?
What?
Let's go to Matt Good with a look at the board.
Thanks, Alex. Well, as you can see, we are currently at $0.00, but we expect that number to shoot right up.
And Matt, what can our viewers do to make that number go up?
Well, they just need to call and pledge a donation to Creative Works of Lancaster.
And when you say pledge a donation...
Well, promise to give us a specific amount of money for our organization.
And when you say money...
I mean, currency, cash, dollars.
Yes, of course.
Good?
Matt Good.
Well, thanks, Matt. We'll be sure to check in with you later in the show. Now, this event is pretty fantastic because over the next 24 hours, we're going to be bringing in lots of local artists to perform skits and sketches.
Alex?
What?
The show isn't 24 hours.
Of course it is. It's 24 hours of Creative Works of Lancaster, just like our annual event, the 24-hour plays, where over 24 hours, 6 plays are written, directed,
Right. But this event isn't 24 hours.
All right. Well, how long is it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, last time we talked about it, we thought maybe we could stretch this bit to like 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, in the effort of full disclosure, I took a lot of Red Bull before I came out here, so I'm really ready for this event.
Yeah, you'll have lots of energy then.
More of a sprint than the marathon I readied myself for.
Are you okay?
Let's just move on to the next thing.
Oh, yes, we can do that. Well, let's go to our eyes on the street, Phil. Phil, how's it going out there?
The residents say the smell coming from the building is nothing new and adds to the local charm of the community. All right, back to you, Tom.
Okay, hello, Phil? Can you hear us?
Yes, sorry, I'm just finishing up another job.
Oh, we didn't realize you were a news reporter.
It's a gig economy now, Joe. I figured since we had the camera team, I'd pick up a couple field reporting shifts.
Oh, wait, I didn't even know you could do that. So Phil, what's the attitude like outside the studio?
Well, Joe, as you may know, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, so there are few people outside. Also, this was an unadvertised event, so everyone who's passed by has had no idea what's happening. And I asked a woman what she thought, and she told me to shove it. Now, just exactly what it is, I'm not sure, but I'll be sure to update you as soon as we find out more information.
Well, thanks, Phil. You keep on it.
I'll do my best, Joe, but I do have another job coming up.
Oh, well, we hired the camera crew for the whole day, so bring them along with you.
Sure thing, Joe.
Speaking of hired, Alex, are you unemployed?
I sure am, Joe.
Fantastic. Now, as Phil mentioned, and you may have heard about this at home, we're in the midst of a global pandemic, and that has greatly reduced Creative Works' output this year.
That's right. Creative Works has had virtually no output since early February. But luckily, we were able to get our cameras inside of the most recent Board of Directors meeting, and we're going to be able to see what's going on behind the scenes and how excited they are to bring us something for the 2021 season. Let's take a look at that footage now.
It's always exciting to take a peek behind the curtain.
It sure is, Joe. And speaking of curtain, here's where Alex segues into pledge donation portion of the show.
Okay. What's a telethon without pledge gifts? PBS tote bags, NPR coffee mugs. I know I don't give money to anybody unless I know I'm getting some of that sweet, sweet swag. And here to tell you about ARC's CW swag is our own Steve Carlson.
Thanks, Joe. You mentioned coffee mugs, and while we don't have any Creative Works of Lancaster coffee mugs, we do have Creative Works plastic wine glasses. Not only do they say Creative Works of Lancaster, but there's a pretty picture of a nice building on them.
Is that the Fulton Theater?
Why, yes. We have several of these, and each one comes with 3 lids, and one of them fits if you really go for it. Oh. I guess we can let these go for a donation of 35 cents.
Oh, that sounds a little low for such a nice cup. Could we maybe up that a level?
Sure. You can take home one of these babies for a donation of $3,500.
Okay, now wait.
Next up, we have our platinum level membership. And for a recurring donation of $1 a month, I'll come to your house and explain the plot line of any Agatha Christie story.
Oh, well, are you a big murder mystery fan there, Steve?
No, but I've read the back covers of about a half dozen of her books, and I watched the first half of Murder on the Orient Express, so I'm pretty confident.
All right. Well, what other wonderful gifts do we have to give out to our donors out there?
Well, let's see. It looks like the rest of this stuff in here is just some old headshots of some board members, some unpaid parking tickets, and a jury summons for Joanna.
Okay, so I double parked to go in and tell them I didn't want to be on the jury, and then I got another parking ticket, and I got another summons, and it's a vicious cycle.
Oh, and there's a Kenny G CD I found one time in front of my house, but I'm keeping this.
Thanks, Steve. If that doesn't get the phones ringing, nothing will.
Now, Joe, one of the things Creative Works of Lancaster is best known for is probably our sock puppet shows.
That's right, Alex. Nothing has stunted the public's perception of my artistic abilities more than the handful of film parodies we've done featuring sock puppets. Every day I'm accosted by fans. Joe, when are you going to do another sock puppet show? Joe, when are you going to do another sock puppet show? Never. Joe, you were transcendent when you portrayed Rosalind. Or, Joe, your direction of that park show really brought to light those fantastical elements while still keeping the characters grounded to tell a fulfilling and uplifting story.
That's right, Joe. People just are crazy about our sock puppet shows. But doing one safely during a pandemic is a little difficult, but that hasn't stopped us from trying. Let's take a look.
Hey guys, sometimes it's really, really hard to find some dramatic literature that speaks to the core of what's happening here and now in our communities. Yeah, I totally get that. Oh yeah, me too. Definitely. Well, when I have that problem, I really think about Creative Works of Lancaster. How sometimes they have something for everybody in our community, like even for us. They write musicals based on our experiences and let us perform them. Oh yeah, definitely. And then they do those 24-hour plays and things, and they're really good at, offering spaces for local playwrights and artists to have their voices heard. Yeah, it's really cool. I agree. I'm just so grateful that Creative Works is here for our community so that we can be heard. Yeah, absolutely.
Steve, thanks for coming to this Sock Puppet 101. As the newest member of the board, I want to put you through this brief boot camp before we send you out performing.
It's cool. I understand every group has their own way of doing things.
Yeah, exactly. So, is it true that before you joined the board, you had never even heard of a puppet before, right?
Well, actually, I did a gig with Frank Oz a couple years back.
Fascinating. Okay. The first thing you need to know about sock puppeting is when your fellow performer is kneeling on the puppet you need at that moment, and you've got to get their attention. You're on my puppet. Now you try.
You're on my puppet.
Magnifico. No need to overwork that. Now this next one is going to build on that technique, but is a little more advanced. This is when you've got a puppet on either hand, and you need to turn the page of your script, but you can't, so you've got to ask someone to do it for you. Turn the page.
Turn the page.
Wow, Steve, you're a natural, and you had never puppeted before this.
Well, actually, last Thanksgiving Day parade, I did a gig with Sesame Street.
Okay, speak up next time. I'm a little deaf in this ear. Okay, this next one is something we've coined the bendy steppy.
Bendy steppy.
Yes. This is when you realize you're on the wrong side of the puppet stage and have to step over the performer to get to the correct side, but still keeping your head down so the audience doesn't see you.
Joe, may I ask a question?
I don't know. Can you?
I said, may I?
Oh, so you did.
It seems like everything you're teaching me has to do with mistakes.
Great, that's not a question.
Why is everything that you're teaching me have to do with mistakes? Shouldn't I be learning how to puppet?
Okay, here. Put this on. All right. Eyes front. A little more. Keep your arm level. Make sure your puppet talks in sync with your words. Okay, you see? It's not high art, Steve. It's puppets telling dirty jokes and bad puns. But do you know what to do if you knock over the backdrop and you catch it with the hand that has a puppet on it, and at the same time your other hand has a puppet on it, and it's acting in that scene?
No.
Okay then. So if there are no more interruptions, you can learn what goes into performing sock puppet shows at bars. Okay? This technique is something we call the Schwartz Special.
Wow, Joe, after seeing that footage, I'm sure you're going to be remembered as the master of puppets.
Good. What?
A lot of people think of Creative Works as a family.
Ooh.
Exactly. I don't think of it as a family. I like to think of it more as a home. Someplace where you can come, be nourished, and then go out into the greater world. And, well, since we perform so many different shows and so many different interesting venues, I get to sleep in a lot of different places.
Wait, I don't understand, Alex. You sleep in all our venues?
Yes, and if the sink is big enough, bathe as well.
Why?
Well, have you seen the fair market price for an apartment in Lancaster these days? No, thank you.
Okay, we're going to have a longer conversation about that later. But right now, let's go check back in on the phones. How's it going over there, Lydia?
Well, no one has called in to pledge yet, and every time I turn around, I think the puppets move.
Keep up the good work.
Okay.
Well, Joe, I know why you and I like Creative Works of Lancaster, but what about everybody else?
Lack of taste?
Well, now we don't have to guess, because we asked some of our friends for some testimonials. Let's have a look.
Hello, everyone.
My name is Strawberry Kit Kat.
And I'm Merp, and we met at
The 2020 Lancaster Creative Works Awkward Dates Valentine's Day Extravaganza.
Yes, you see, we are imaginaries, created for one of the delightful skits presented at this wonderfully imaginative event. And since we've become quite the item.
Oh, yes, darling. Actually, we are the imaginary friends of real-life couple Debra Good-Zeiner
And Layne Zeiner.
and they've asked us to speak for them and let you know how very much they enjoy the wildly creative, imaginative offerings of the Creative Works.
Yes, they babble endlessly about their love of this company and the unique opportunities for entertainment and participation that they offer.
So, please, everyone, support the Creative Works with your gifts, your talents,
And your attendance.
Once this COVID thing has passed. Thank you, and
See you at the shows. Toodles. Bye all.
Hi, this is Erin Biles to tell you why I love the Creative Works of Lancaster. First of all, I felt no need to change out of this glorious Christmas sweater because that's the kind of creativity that's encouraged by the people there. Reason number 3. Their mascot is a deep sea diver. Now that's creative. I've been an actor and a director with Creative Works for a bit, so reasons number 12, 47, and 4 have to do with those experiences. I've gotten the opportunity to work with actual playwrights. Hi, Sandy Asher and Barry Kornhauser. It was a blast. Number 12. As a director, I got to involve some of my students. I'm a teacher, and it was so wonderful to get them involved and pass on the creative juices to the next generation. Reason 24. The 24-hour plays. Whoa, what a creative experience that was. They brought a national treasure to Lancaster, and I'm so excited to have been involved with that. My only regret about my involvement with Creative Works is that I was never a puppet. That is so creative. Which leads me to reason number 724. The people that I've met there have been the most incredible and kind people to work with. Did I mention they're creative? That's why I love the Lancaster Creative Works.
Well, if that doesn't move you, nothing will.
And speaking of moving, let's have another look at the big board. Matt, we seem to be in the red now. How is that possible during a telethon?
Well, Joe, the telethon was running a little long. Oh, thanks. And this is for you.
Thanks. Hey, everyone.
Oh, hey, Phil, and oh, he left. Well, we seem to be in the red. Phil is AWOL. Any calls yet, Lids?
Not yet. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Hello? Hello? Creative Works Telethon. Give us money, please. Hello? They hung up.
I just want to once again thank our venue, Two Dudes Painting Company. 2 dudes, because 3 feels like a little bit much, doesn't it?
Hey, Alex. Don't telethons usually have celebrities doing musical numbers?
They sure do, Joe.
Did we get any?
Nope.
Should we sing?
Nah.
You're right. But what can we do?
Well, let's have a look at the old list here. We did a bit about us recording a telethon. We did the joke about us being in the red during the event. That's good.
What?
What? And then we did the Matt Good running gag 3 times.
Do you folks need me anymore?
No, that was 3. Thanks, Matt.
Sure thing. Kathy and Zoe have been waiting for me out in the car the whole time.
We did testimonials. We didn't sing.
Always a goal.
So I think we just need to do an actual sincere end of show and we're good.
Oh, great. So I can take off my shoes.
Yeah, let's do a whole Mr. Rogers vibe to the end of
Oh,
it.
get my sweater.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I hope you had fun watching us tonight. I know we had fun making it for you, and I think it's important at the end of a year like this just to let yourself to make people laugh. And, well, Creative Works hasn't had quite as much output this year as we normally do.
No, but we just thought it was important, among other things, for other theater companies that have staff to pay, buildings to maintain, and other overhead to get their voices out there as we all learn to transition into this new way of presenting art.
Creative Works is run by a volunteer board of directors. We don't have any paid staff, and we're nomadic, so we don't have any rent or mortgage to pay.
But when we do begin producing experiences, whatever that looks like in the future, we always pay our artists a stipend, and there are administrative costs, like paying for show rights and hosting our website. When we do see you in person, we also have rental fees for venues and for equipment.
Creative Works is committed to providing a pay-what-you-decide ticketing structure, so you only pay the value of an experience after you've seen it. So we'll never turn away an audience for financial reasons.
So if you can, and you have the means to do so, please donate to Creative Works at the donation link in the description below.
And if you can't donate right now, we 100% understand. Just be sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Liking and sharing helps us a whole lot, and it's free.
Well, I think that about covers all of it. Lydia, anything to add?
I don't think so.
Oh, she's still a sock puppet.
Yeah, I thought that'd be like a cute joke to end on.
Yeah, no, I like it.
All right, well, I think that does it for us. Well, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya, everybody.